Alright, today's video is all about making a super duper simple fantasy bounding hood. Whee! With options, alternatives, variations. Let's go with variations. Oh, bowl. So, I suddenly got an idea for something, and now y'all are stuck doing it with me. So is Opal. Look at her. So, I have a not large enough to do much with piece of green linen that I'm gonna cut a strip off for what I guess will be the front facing. So with my usual ballpark approach to like everything, we now have a piece of fabric. Let's call it about 6 inches by 60 inches, just because 60 is the long end. The selvage to selvage thing, right? So, but it'll get folded in and folded like that around the front of the hat. Yeah, so that doesn't look too wide. Obviously, you will make whatever makes you happy. Oh my god, she's washing her face. Can you see her? She's still washing her face. I have no idea if I managed to wiggle that into frame or not. There's probably tricks for this. Yes, you're so ferocious. Yes, you are. You are the most ferocious beastie in the whole wide world. I love you too. Can I make a hat, please? Boop, 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 boop. Alright, I'm gonna take Opal back to her room, I think. Oh, no, never mind. I'm just gonna sit here and pet her for a while. Well, the rabbit is now off taking a nap with the tiny human. So, I was thinking about that hood I put on the ridiculous red cape. Ah! And this, my friends, is why we don't use tape measures on fabric. Okay, so my thought is that, there we go, a rectangle 10 inches by 20 inches or 2 squares 10 inches by 10 inches, more or less, obviously. Will make for a nice hood. So, if you were to take this and say it wants to be a hat, then you'd sew up the open end, and you'd stick your head in the triangle end, with these being the ear flaps, and then you'd probably put a pom-pom up here or something silly and awesome. And if you wanted to not care about which way was forward, you'd put the ear ties, the dangly bits, Like it could either be a tassel coming off here, or it could just be coming off diagonal. If you did care about which way was forward, then you just place the, excuse me, opal fluff in my throat. Then you just place the long thing on one side. Yes? And then your adorable little face is sticking out. So, this is linen. It's probably a horrible choice, but it's a pretty color and it's what I have on hand. And also I want to decorate the crap out of it. So this is going to be my lining. If you wanted to pick a really fluffy lining and then pick a more weatherproof outer shell, that would make a lot of sense. If you wanted to cut a curve right here so that it was like head-shaped, that would make a lot of sense too. I'm going to be extra and do like I did on the cape and put a curly Q. Because of course I am. Going to cut that now. So we have the liner and we have the outside of the hat and we have the, we have the great big long thing that goes down the front. And then from the leftovers, I cut off the stuff to do with the curly Q drama, so now I have a rectangular remnant that will go back in my stash that will be useful. And then right under the curly Q drama, squared this bit off, and I think it'll be useful for the embroidery. And then also, as part of curly Q drama, there's another doubled up rectangle. And I've decided I'd like a dangly bit to make the embroidery come down. Like there'll be the very plain green band that'll match everything, but this way I can bring beads and some crap down. So, see, it's doubled up, and so I'm just going to cut diagonally, and then the hat will be more dramatic, because of course that's exactly what this hat needed, was more drama. So now I have 4 more triangles to sew onto the hat, because of course I do. It'll be fun. So I'm going to sew up the seam up the back of my head, and then just follow the squiggle around, and then we'll have to turn it inside out, well, right side out, and that'll be fun. And then for the lining, just sew up the seam up the back of my head. So, using black thread because that's what I have on hand. Yay. Another yay. Look, these scissors are like magnetic or something. See? They kept my needle for me. So, it's the warmest part of the day. So we actually just left and went and got 14 more tires for building our Earthship thing, Earthship-ish thing. Not in the ideal climate for a classic Earthship, but I've been working on it for a while. Hopefully I'll have something worth sharing with that soon, but we'll see. So that's 14 more tires not going to a landfill and being used to build something that hopefully won't even need air conditioning. Alright, time for sewing. this is the outer shell. Here's the inner one. And of course, if yours is going to be a fully reversible hood, I don't know what you'd call outer and inner exactly, but you get them nested how you want them to be, and you double check it because it'd be really annoying to sew it on inside out. And everything looks fine. Then you find the middle of that. There we go. And then you find the middle of the ridiculous long thing. Ta-da! And then you grow an extra pair of hands so that you'll be able to fold this up and attach it to the front of your hood. I'm just going to continue on down the line. I will say that if I was an actual, like, a functioning human being, I'd probably be using things like pins and irons at this point, and if that is your jam, then absolutely do that. But what I'm also saying is that, well, I mean, hopefully it'll work anyways, even if you don't feel like using pins and irons. But also, there we go. See, I have a little bit of a fold here for, well, where it's not sewn down all the way. And that's actually on purpose because I want the embroidery to vanish beneath it. And then once the embroidery is done, I guess I'll go in and sew another line of stitching there. But that will not be this video. Hopefully that'll be next week's video. All the fancy stuff. So, I'm going to continue that way. And then I'm going to come back to the middle, and I'm going to do the other way. See you in a minute. Here we are, in the bathroom, in the pirate shirt, and in the hat. Which, how do I show you how this works? Okay, you see? See the little point back here? So if you're really into tassels or something, then that would be a cute place for a tassel, because I've got it on inside out right now. Or like I was saying, you can cut the point off rounded, like the shape of the back of your head, and then it would be rounded. So, and then this isn't finished yet, because the triangles, remember the triangles? I look here, don't I? I suck at this sometimes. Remember the triangles I cut out for the little dog ears right here? So I could decorate them down? I haven't put those on yet, so it's still all over the place. But don't I look festive? Alright, let me put it on right side around. And now it is right side around, and it looks exactly the same. Unless I turn and try and show you. See the little squiggle? Can you? I have no idea if you were able to see it. I think if I wasn't about to embroider the crap out of it, that I'd put a piece going across the top here to stiffen it, to make it hold its spiral shape a little better, but just like a small piece sewn in. So, off to do little triangle things. Hi. So, see? Triangles are sewn in. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And now it's, yeah, it comes down. So it looked cute before, oh, there. It looked cute before, but like I said, because of the decoration, I'm going to do it with the triangles this time. And so, and I've got the little squiggle. Whee! So, next up is getting completely ridiculous with textures and stuff, which I'm going to record. But I was thinking, I mean, I don't know enough people for making this a magical trending thing, but if you do feel like doing this, that would be totally awesome, and like tag me and I will share it and all that magical internet stuff. And like if you're into weaving, because this is one of my child's weavings, and I was thinking how cool that would look and how it would be totally doable to have a little plywood or cardboard sized loom for 10 by 20 and then just have it go over the head, or smaller if you've got more of a normal sized head, because my head is enormous. So, but 2 squares. That, or like if you're into tablet weaving, the front thing would be a nice small project that would look totally awesome. Or tassels and ridiculousness. So, I don't know. Like in the history of clothing, incredibly simple concept that gets embellished out the wazoo is a recurring theme and can be totally cool, and it would be amazing if more people did this. So we'll have to come up with a hashtag or something, won't we? Hood. So all of that babbling just now was not to give anybody a to-do list or anything, or to make it seem like you need to be ambitious, because you don't. I just, you know how it is. Your brain, you start with an idea and then more and more and more ideas kind of pile on, and it's this hideous traffic jam of ideas in your head. And there's not enough hours in the day for all of them. That. So, I think I'm gonna go with hashtag square hat, because I'm ridiculous and maybe a little old and have no idea what I'm doing. So if you make one and you like tag me or hashtag it square hat, because it's 2 squares, right? Then I'll repost it and it'll be all exciting to me anyway, because I've never done this before. So look, I started decorating. There's beads. So go forth and create. Look, it keeps your neck warm and your ears warm. I think it's really important to be warm. So I'm having fun with this. So thank you so much for watching. If you've made it to this point, of course I have to request that you like or subscribe and all that awesome stuff, but mostly just thank you for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed it. And see you soon with decorations, beading, and embroidery, and ridiculousness, and probably more Opal the Rabbit content.